Good evening. Welcome to the November 16th, 2023 meeting of the Fairfield City Schools Board of Education. Ms. Lane, can you call the roll?
Mr. Begley, Mrs. Birding Miller,
Present.
Mr. Clark, Mrs. Gundrum,
Here.
Mrs. Shorter.
Here. You can stand and we can repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Fairfield City School District is deeply saddened by the tragic loss of life of 3 students and 3 parent chaperones from the Tuscarawas of the Tuskegee Valley Local School District. They were part of a contingent of schools marching band en route to perform on the last day of the Ohio School Boards Association Conference in Columbus. Please keep the entire Tuskegee Valley Local School District and community in your thoughts and prayers. At this time, I ask that you join me in a moment of silence to honor and remember the students and chaperones who tragically lost their lives. Thank you. At this time, we're going to go to presentations and resolutions.
Thank you, Ms. Shorter. Members of the board, we do have one presentation scheduled this evening. We have quite a few folks from our high school here, our guidance counselors, administrators. So at this time, I will turn it over to the principal, Mr. Ryan Bellamy.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, and members of the board. I'd like to thank you for your continual support just of our students and staff that you've given us throughout the years and years we've gone through in the past. Tonight I'm excited to have our counseling department here to share a little bit about what they do on a daily basis, but also how we get our students prepared academically, social and emotionally, and then getting our seniors prepared for life after high school. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to our 2 department heads, Ms. Heather Braun and Ms. Deanna Owens-Nelson.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you for having us
Yes,
here tonight.
thank you for having us. So before we get into our school counseling specific roles here at the high school, we are going to talk about more of our general roles as school counselors. I'm gonna try my best to operate this the best way I can. Okay, so you'll see here on the screen, initially when our role was developed back in the 1900s, as early as that is, the guidance counselor role, you'll see there was more so reactive, service, providing only services to some, more so doing kind of an ancillary role in the improvement process of students and really kind of working in isolation. Historically, the term guidance counselor was used to refer to counselors working in the schools. The term has evolved to school counselor as our roles and our scope of our duties has changed and evolved. ASCA, which is our American School Counseling Association, encourages the use of school counselor to more accurately reflect our role. So you'll see here on this screen is our national model, and under our national model are 4 different areas: define, manage, deliver, and access. So under define, for school counselors create school counseling programs based on the 3 sets of standards that define our profession. These standards help us as school counselors develop, implement, and assess our school counseling programs to improve our school counseling outcomes. Under the category of manage, in order for our programs to be delivered effectively, our school counseling programs must be ran efficiently and effectively. Our school counseling programs must focus in using planning tools to guide and design and implement our school counseling programs that get results. And then under deliver, we as school counselors deliver appropriate activities and services directly and indirectly to our students. So some of our direct services would be meeting directly with our students one-on-one if they're signing up to see us. Indirect services would be referring our students to our mental health services that we have in our district. And then under access, in order to achieve the best results for our students, school counselors regularly assess our programs in order to determine the effectiveness in helping our students succeed and form improvements to our school counseling programs, design and deliver, and show how our students are different as a result of our school counseling programs. So again, more specifically, with our role as school counselors, we play an essential role in creating, equitable and inclusive school culture, promoting success for all of our students. We help students in the following areas: academics, social, emotional, and college and career. I'm going to speak to a little bit of what we do under academics, and then Heather will go into more of our social, emotional, and then college and career. So with academics, we meet with our students regularly for scheduling for the following school year. We discuss with them their goals and talk about their future and talk about appropriate classes that align with their future based on those goals, whether that's our CCR classes, our AP classes, our advanced standing, or our College Credit Plus CCP courses. We also do regular credit checks. We keep our own credit checks to monitor our students' graduation status, but we also do check in with our students once we meet with them with scheduling, but then also too, students may come down on a regular basis to check in with us about where they are in meeting their graduation requirements. And then for performance monitoring, quarterly, semesterly, at the semester, we check in with students, talk to them about what they might need to be able to pass the semester, to pass the quarter. So we do that on a frequent basis with our students as well.
Okay, for the social emotional component of our jobs, we do quite a bit. First and foremost, crisis management. So that is if a student is needing to see us immediately for something very important. Typically, students will sign up. We have a whole sign-up process, and we'll call them down. But if a student is in crisis, we will see them immediately. And if we are not available to see them immediately, we do work with our school-based support workers who will then see them. But our number one thing for social emotional is to make sure that those students are seen immediately. We also work, and I've mentioned this a little bit with crisis management, but we do collaborate with quite a few community organizations, some of them housed here, some of them not housed here. As far as mental health referrals go, we have quite a few options here. First, again, our school-based support workers. We have two housed here, Hannah Sauer and Gina Ward. We do work very closely with them, especially if a student is in crisis. We also have school-based therapy with Catalyst and New Path, which we do have a therapist here, we're working on one from New Path, but we do have both of those services for students who may need additional support as far as therapy goes. We do case management with New Path, which is someone who is assigned to a student to help them get the resources they may need. It's not quite therapy, but they help them get all the in-between stuff that they need as well. And then just in general, community organizations outside of the school. So if a student is not able to do Catalyst or New Path, we do have a whole list of outside agencies who we provide to parents if needed. As far as student support groups go, we have a couple options here that we have at Fairfield, and these are also groups that we refer students to. First is educational support groups. So this is facilitated by Envisions. So we do refer students to this group, or teachers will refer students to these groups. They meet on Thursdays for I think 6 to 8 weeks. We do have grief groups. We have worked with Fernside in the past, especially last year. This year we are working with Companions on a Journey here at the high school. This is new this year, but it seems like a really great opportunity for students. Students can be put into the group as needed, which is really great. And they meet once a month. And this month was their first meeting. And then we also just have mental health groups, which is facilitated by our school-based support workers. And they meet once a month during a drive time period that we've seemed to have a pretty good success at. And students can come down as needed for those. And then family resources, so these are just resources that we can provide to families in general for whatever reason is needed. First is Success Program with Morgan Lookup, and then Neighborhood Bridges is new, so we're just getting that and getting that word out. It seems like a really great opportunity for just the community to help people in general, and we can put stuff on that list as needed from families and stuff that we hear. We have a food pantry here that we are able to take students down to here at the high school as needed. And then Ohio Means Jobs offers the comprehensive case management employment program that we can refer students to who may need to be getting jobs or help with after graduation. They will work with that student and have like a mentor with them. All right, so college and career readiness, which is our last domain. We do quite a bit here. First, we do individualized senior talks. So the first part of our year at Fairfield for counselors is really a lot of senior talks. We have like 90 seniors, and we do spend about 20 to 30 minutes with each senior, where we talk about what their goals are, we talk about where they are for graduation, and I'll go into these talks here in just a little bit, but that's a big part of the first part of our year. And then to hit everyone, we gather and disperse like postgraduate resources and information. We do college visits. There's a Butler Tech field trip for adult ed. Like last year, that was done in the late spring, so before graduation for students who might not have known what they were doing at the beginning of the year. We do have a Google Classroom and a Google site that we are working on where we provide all the information of the different resources that we get. We get quite a bit, and we make sure that they're posted on there for families to look at in an organized way. And then we do have our counseling website that also has all those resources listed. Postgraduate, we also host postgraduate planning events. We have a FAFSA Day. This will be our third year for FAFSA Day. And that's going to be on January 11th. It's free, where we bring an expert in to help students and families complete the FAFSA because it can be complicated, especially this year because it's different. We do a classroom scholarship presentation. I'm actually in charge of this. I work with Casey Rouse at the foundation to bring her in and really highlight this scholarship for students because there's something in there for everybody. And this year was our first NCAA informational session, which Deanna helped host, and that was held on November 9th. So that's like getting students prepared for eligibility should they want to play for college, because we're finding that, students aren't super aware of that. It's a lot to think about when you're a ninth grader, but we're trying to hit it early and make sure that they have everything they need should they go play. And then Deanna also held our first AP informational session this year, just to get the word out about the importance of it, planning, future planning, what they can look forward to, what they can start doing now. All right, so just to dive really quick into senior talk information so you understand what our conversations are like for students with their postgraduate planning, their future planning. First, we talk about graduation status, where are you at on credits, what do you need, how's it looking? And then we talk about college there's three things we can talk about: college, career, trade technical school options, and four, military. So we will ask the student, what are your plans here? And depending on what their answer is, we have something to give to everyone. First, for college information resources, we either have a packet or a presentation that we go through with them, but the college resources include Common App help and tutorials, step-by-step, Naviance help and tutorials, step-by-step, where they can research colleges, what stuff they can utilize, career interest inventories that they can do if they know they want to go to college, they don't necessarily know what they want to major in just yet, and also how to do recommendation letter information as far as like brag sheets, resume. So we provide all that to them as far as college resources go. We also provide career information resources. So if a student were to tell me that they want to just work, I go, well, do you know where you want to work? And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I always offer Ohio Means Jobs. It's a great website. It's free. I have them sign up. We show them like what they can do to research that. And also it helps you build a resume, which is really important. Career technical school options, I will go through like what programs they're wanting to do. We'll go through what schools offer those programs, what's required, because you have to take the work keys, where they can get, practice work keys, because there's a lot more than just applying to those programs, so we talk about that as well. Military, we have a whole sheet of our recruiter information for those students, and then when they can meet with them, usually they're here at lunchtime, so we talk through that. And then we'll go through FAFSA because that can be used for most of this stuff. And then also how they can access scholarship opportunities.
And I'll say too, with like Ohio Means Jobs, I will oftentimes refer students to the actual Ohio Means Jobs on Route 4, yes. We took a visit there last year, the year before. I mean, amazing facility. Will, sit down with students, help them write their resumes, help them do interviews. We'll have oftentimes jobs come in, do job fairs there and hire students on the spot. So oftentimes I'll show them the website, but then I'll also encourage them to visit if they live in the city of Fairfield as well.
All right, and just a couple other things that we do throughout the year for all of our students. One is college visits. We take seniors on the PSAT day to visit different colleges that they might not have had an opportunity to yet. This year we went to Wright State, Sinclair University, and Cincinnati State, and we had a really good turnout for that. Buses full of students, it was great.
Yeah.
This year, we are working on, one of our goals is to do this for juniors. In the spring is what we're thinking, to expose them to colleges and to get their minds kind of working, because that's something that they're going to be doing the next year. For juniors, we are also working to get into the classrooms in the springtime of this year to specifically talk about next steps, to prepare them for these senior talks that we have next year. Regardless of whether they're going to go to college or not, they need to think about what path they want to take, and they can start doing that. So our goal is to get in the classrooms and talk about these and hand them something that they can actually work on throughout the summer. And then sophomores, we are also planning, so lots of new stuff that we're planning, hopefully for this year, to do a needs assessment. This is something we want to do at the beginning of the year to kind of get an idea of what they're thinking of doing, stuff that we can highlight and talk with them about as the year goes on. So that is something also that we're going to roll out for them. And then I just wanted to highlight, we do give students that brag sheet, and in that brag sheet is a question, like, what is your future goals? What do you want to do? Just gives us an idea, even more so from their mouths, like what they want to do. These are some answers that I thought were really good to kind of show you what our students are doing. So I'll read them to you, but one is, if I finished college, I would be the only one in my entire family to do it. I want to do better for myself and work out of love, not necessity, which is a choice my parents never got. My main hobby is playing music and studying it. This is why I wish to pass it along to future generations, hopefully giving them the same joy that I've experienced from it. I hope to make my parents proud and be successful. I want to be the first one to graduate from my family and achieve everything that my parents weren't given the opportunity for. And lastly, I love reading, taking pictures of nature, babysitting, practicing different sports with my brother, helping others, understanding and getting to know more about the way people think. I hope to become someone that helps improve the mental well-being of young people. I think these are great. They show the diversity of Fairfield. And like when we say we do all this stuff, we do everything because our student population is so diverse. Like we need to have resources for everybody. And I think this highlights a few of our students who, really show that and the hopes that they have for their future. And so we're just here to help, get them there.
Yes, we love what we do.
Yep.
We love what we do. We love our students.
Yep, that's it. It's a lot, yeah.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. Board member comments?
Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you so much for this information. I remember when I was in high school, my daughter would say this was in the olden days. We had a guidance counselor, and you only saw the guidance counselor if you were like top of the class and you were going for some major scholarships, or if you were bottom of the class and you were in danger of flunking.
Yeah.
And everybody else was kind of lost in the middle. And we could have used some help too. So I love that you're helping everyone across the spectrum and providing resources for, everyone, no matter where they are in the standings or where they are in life. And I think it's great work. I think it's honorable. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
I also want to thank you and your entire team for the work you guys do here. As a Fairfield grad, my guidance counselor, because at the time they were guidance counselors, honestly was a safe space in the school for me. I went there through a lot of emotional stuff with her, and I'm very happy to hear that although you guys are really preparing our seniors, that we're also going to start rolling out some programs for the juniors and sophomores, because I wish I had those kind of talks when I was younger in school, because like I had no idea what I was doing until like halfway through senior year. And so I think it's really great that you guys are going to get people to start thinking about that earlier so that they can prepare in high school for the classes that they need to get to where they want to be. So that's fantastic. I'm very happy that we're getting those programs in. So thank you so much for everything you guys do.
Thank you.
I want to echo the comments of my fellow board members, and I also have a question or a recommendation, because you do such important work, and a couple of things that are here under future goals. The comment from the young person that says, I hope to make my parents proud and be successful. But within this comment, he illustrates that he is the first one, or he or she will be the first one in the family to achieve the goal of actually having a college education. With that said, it is definitely right to focus on scholarships. You know, we have so many kids that will get tons of scholarships, but so many other kids will need to have the full package. They'll need to know about loans and how do you navigate those rates. They'll need to really understand the ins and outs. And so the FAFSA is a tool in order to, get the ball going. But is it possible to have like a little open house where you actually bring in some type of specialist that actually can teach first-time, parents, students about financing, what it really takes to finance a college education? Because I don't think a lot of parents are really prepared for the shock of it. So I was just thinking maybe really getting down into the finances of it. Scholarships is one part. Loans is another part that can be complicated. What are your thoughts on that?
I do know that the company that we work with for FAFSA Day, they will help them complete the FAFSA, but they also, when they get that number back, she sits down and they actually work through a whole financial planning tool that they have with them. So not only do they get the FAFSA completed, they will talk about those loans, they will talk about those numbers, they'll talk with them about what schools are you looking at, and then they have a whole book that lists the numbers. So within that, those conversations are happening now as a whole. I know in the past we have had FAFSA people come on the CCP night. I think that is something we could probably look into again. I don't know why that, I think it probably stopped with COVID. It probably just got away from us. So that is something to consider, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And one other thing, I'm not sure if a lot of parents are aware of this, but a lot of schools, including Miami, they are making it known that in 2024, I believe, or 2025, the ACT will be mandatory. Have we had any students inquiring about that? Are they aware that that it's almost over? That
I actually
you're gonna
went
have
to
have
a
that?
Miami informational session. From what I understood, they are still deciding on that. She didn't say one way or another. I don't know that, so I'm not sure, but I'm sure that is conversations that's not just even happening with Miami. I think that we are all aware that this could be coming back in the next couple of years for some schools. But I don't know that we've necessarily had anyone asking questions about it just yet.
And/or receive direct information
Yeah.
from Miami stating that they were planning on doing that for the 2024 year.
I will say though, we do talk about the ACT and we do, try to prepare them as best we can. When we say you might need it even just for scholarships if you don't need it for college. So we do stress that they should do their best, maybe even take it one more time.
Yeah. Yeah. And what would be the average grade for starting the ACT, for preparation and all that? I've always wanted to see it earlier, but sometimes, I've had conversations with Ms. Ashford, and she's brought it to my attention that, sometimes they're just not emotionally ready for the rigor of the ACT, for the amount of time that it takes to get through the test and all of the stressors. So what would you recommend as like the optimum type of age to actually, or grade level to start with the ACT and SAT preparation?
I think they take the practice ACT as a sophomore, and I do think that that is a good age to take a practice test.
Practice test, yeah.
So that they can understand the timing of it or the feel for it. I still don't know that it quite hits, home with them, that this is something that they're going to, I don't, to take for real the following year. But it is also nice that they have a chance to take the PACT again as a junior in the fall. I just feel like between sophomore and junior year, there is this level of maturity that happens.
Right.
And I feel like we do see that, and they do start thinking about that more.
And the importance of it, yeah.
But I do know, like, giving them the opportunity as a sophomore to take that test. I know our teachers talk about it, the importance of it potentially down the line for them. So I think sophomore year is a good year for that.
And if I may add, it's just even having another year for students to be exposed to the material. A lot of times the level of math that they will see on the ACT, you're hitting it pre-calc, trig, and many students in their sophomore year haven't even had the opportunity to be exposed to that.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of comes into play, and sometimes students, when they take it too early, then they may feel defeated and feel they don't know if they can answer any of those questions.
Yeah. Good point.
And I'm going to chime in here too, because I know that we actually start preparation even in the freshman school. I've had conversation with Mr. Berkmeyer that in his teachers' classrooms, they are trying to model those questions. Now, they're not taking a full-length practice test or doing anything like that, but there's an awareness that it's coming. And so they are using time in class to prepare and to start to work through those questions to build that stamina, that academic vocabulary, just, understanding, gosh, this question might be this long, but what is it really asking? And so I know that work is starting as early as ninth grade, but would, agree in terms of, just their maturity and when they're ready to take it and dive in. As a former high school teacher who had both sophomores and juniors, there is a magical transformation over the summer, and I think that awareness and kind of, it's on the horizon for them, and so they start to take it more seriously. But, certainly internally, we understand the importance of starting, to prepare them academically prior to that.
And I would say, if I could chime in, it's never too early to start to have those conversations, right? Like, it's never too early to start those conversations. But as far as the preparation of it, the actual taking of the practice test, I would agree to be maybe that sophomore year for students. And we've seen success in students having that ability to have that practice test in their sophomore year and then being able to take it again in their junior year.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Any more
I
questions?
was going to say, I have one more question. And when is the FAFSA day? Is that something that's done after graduation?
It's this year it's on January 11th, and we do it from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we allow parents to come in throughout the day. The students will come down, and we offer that after-school time for parents who might be working. What's also fabulous about it is if a parent can't come, for instance, the student can still come down. We can call them, we can Zoom them. And even if a parent is not able to do that, Karen Haven is who we work with. The students can still come down and get it started, and then they can set up a meeting after. She will meet with them after the FAFSA day. So
if a student's sick on January 11th, you would still be able to connect them with the program?
yes.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's good.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so this is time for communication, but I don't think we've had anyone sign up. So